I know that rumor started in a Russian embassy in Africa, where they just tweeted that out. And then a lot of news places like RT grabbed it and said they're gonna back the currency with gold. But I did some research, so I saw where that came out, and then I went in to look at what the BRICS Bank was saying about it, and they said that they don't have any intention of backing the currency with gold if, and that is a huge if, because I personally, and I could be wrong, and I'm going to be paying attention, but if any currency that is actually truly backed by gold, yes, that could be a black swan event, because now you have a currency that can hold its purchasing power. However, if they just say, well, we're going to back it, but it's not convertible, then how do you know it's really backed by gold? It's just a gimmick. So we have to wait and see. But when I took a look at the BRICS nation and they're issuing or backing their new currency with gold, and I looked at the BRICS Bank said that they are not in discussions to back the currency with gold. They are in discussions to allow mutual exchange of currencies for goods. So if you're in India, for example, doing business with China, you can pay with the rupee and the Chinese can pay with the yuan. So that's what the BRICS Bank has said. It's not so easy. I mean, people think, well, okay, well, we'll just issue a currency backed by gold. But you have to see what they're using to justify creating that currency. And there are two things that I've seen as far as CBDCs are concerned anyway. The current system is based on debt. So if they maintain the current system, they have to get rid of that old debt because it's not payable and it just weighs you down. And you made mention of the cost to create and all of that debt, and those costs, because we've got interest rates rising on a global basis, 25% of the increase was due to the cost of borrowing. And I did that study back in, I think it was 2009, and at that time I think we were running $1 trillion deficit and a $13 trillion debt. Now we're over 32, but at that time it was about 13. And I said, why? Well, if we were only a $1 trillion deficit, why are we servicing 13 trillion in debt? And what you found was that they were not paying all of the interest. So the interest would go into the debt and it would compound. And if that was the truth back in 2009, imagine what we're compounding right now. And interest rates rising, or even if they're maintained at this level, right? I mean, those interests mean that debt is going to grow exponentially, even if we're not taking out new debt. So I think the black swan event is more likely to be in the derivative market, because that could overwhelm any central bank's ability, even together, even working in harmony. That would overwhelm the central bank's ability to bail out a system. But you stop and think about that for a second. If there actually was a currency that was backed by gold and therefore held its purchasing power, and it depends on how much gold is backing it too. It's not 100% or nothing. There's a whole bunch of gray scales in between there. But if there was indeed a currency that was actually backed by gold, then you would see other nations want to put that in their reserves and get rid of the other garbage that's in there. But it would also have an impact on the yuan that is not backed by gold, or the ruble that is not backed by gold. So, that would have an impact on all of those BRICS nations' home currency. Mm-hmm. So are they really going to do that? I mean, is that a logical thing to do? Not until they're good and ready, and not until there's enough loss of confidence, because that's how gold is used. And they would have to get rid of all of that debt that they've accumulated in order to be able to do that. Because as soon as you put gold as a component of the currency, it fixes the debt where it is. They say that, well, we can't back the currency with gold because there's not enough gold. It's not the amount of gold. It's the price in terms of the currencies of the gold. So you don't need a ton to back a currency. It would just be at a higher nominal price. I know that rumor started in a Russian embassy in Africa, where they just tweeted that out. And then a lot of news places like RT grabbed it and said they're gonna back the the currency with gold. But I did some research, so I saw where that came out, and then I went in to look at what the BRICS Bank was saying about it, and they said that they don't have any intention of backing the currency with gold. This is more about the interoperability, so that the countries that are a member of BRICS can trade in their own currencies with other BRICS members. And also, they don't seem to be making it like super easy for other countries to join the BRICS nation, or the BRICS group. However, the one that to me is the most interesting is Saudi Arabia wanting to join, because that's why we have the title of the world reserve currency, is because of the petrodollar, and that's been declining for a while. And we've certainly seen that Saudi Arabia has become a lot closer with China. So it's really an interesting circumstance. But I have this on my calendar, so I will be checking to see. But I don't really think they're going to come out with a gold-backed BRICS currency, because I don't think they're not ready. The fiat yen or any other fiat currency, whether it's inflation or it's deflation, they're losing purchasing power because that's by design. And when you get to zero, what do you got to do? You're going to go negative. So the central banks want you to think that negative rates are a choice. Come on. Would you really loan somebody money knowing you're going to get back less unless they're your children? It's the only one I would do it for. Japan has been fighting deflation since the 90s. And all of their experiments are the global blueprint. That's why they are the canary in the coal mine. Because somehow central banks don't get this. Global central banks don't get this. And in 2010, the government and the central bank decided that, wow, we got to support this economy. So how are we going to do that? Well, we're going to buy stocks, we're going to buy ETFs, and we're going to buy bonds, because there are not enough buyers to support it. So to the rest of the world, it makes it look like everything is okay, but is it really? That would be a big fat no. A big fat no. Nothing that they did worked. What did it get them? But very much in debt. Take advantage of it. Get gold. Get silver, but not paper. Make it the hard asset that you hold, you own. It's out of the system. It avoids all of this geopolitical risk. And that's according to the Bank for International Settlements and Lynette Zang and many other people that understand money and understand good money. This crap is not good money. It actually has my face on it. It's definitely not good money and reflects the loss of purchasing power. This is good money because it's the only thing that has ever actually had all of the components required to be a good money.